how you doing? It's Henry, Mowers and Blowers. It's my third episode on my Toro Wheelhorse 616Z zero-turn mower that I got through a trade with my Echo backpack blower that I traded. So, as you saw from the last episode, I got this thing running, and running great. Seemingly, there's nothing wrong with it, other than the paint. It's faded, very faded. But I'd like to use my red Rustoleum Sunshine Red and just touch up some of the dark spots here. But I'm kind of contemplating painting the whole thing, with a brush. But then you'll have the brush strokes, and that's kind of ugly. So I'll see what I'm going to do. But in the meantime, I had taken my favorite automatic transmission fluid, and I did a once-over on it. Looks a little better, but believe me, it looked better before I started to blow all the debris off of it and then the grass and stuff, and it doesn't look as good as it did before. I left this fender untreated just so I can show you guys how nice it looks. This is an old quart of Superflow from Exxon Dextron 2 Mercon automatic transmission fluid. It's very old. This transmission fluid is like more than 20 years old. It's from my dad's garage. Good Lord. Anyway, check this out, guys. Just want to show you. This is the only part that I haven't done yet, okay? It looked better when it was in the shade, you know what I mean? The light is over here, so you can still see that it's, oh no, over here it looks really good. See, when you do that? Some parts of it, I guess the paint is just better, But there are some rust spots over here that I'd like to just take some enamel oil-based paint, gloss red, and just go over these parts here because no matter what, it's going to look better than this, And I'm not trying to make it perfect, just as presentable as possible, I mean, I like it a lot, and I don't know what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to keep it or... Because this, I mean, I mowed my front yard today with this height pretty low, and it didn't scalp my lawn, but it really cut my lawn very well. I mean, really nice. I also figured out another thing. Remember how I said, man, is the PTO always on? There's no PTO. Well, somebody, I think, I don't recall, but it's from Texas. On my second video, he commented, he said, you know that toggle switch is your PTO. And I said, really? I thought it was just like power on, you know what I mean? But I tried it. I can start this no problem, right? I don't want to start right now because I've got this all covered up for the bumper. You can start it, and it runs great. And then when you're ready for the PTO, you flip the switch for the PTO and it goes on. It's electronic clutch. I didn't know that. So thank you very much for telling me that that is the PTO. Fantastic. I spent some time with my air compressor, blew out all the grass and crap from the little seams and stuff, and got it like 90%, all the debris off of that stuff. So I covered up the bumper because the bumper just looks like hell, you know what I mean? I have another can of my famous 98 cents quick color fast drying all-purpose spray enamel. This is gloss black, 98 cents at your local Home Depot. Sometimes when you open these caps, right, it's on so goddamn tight that when you open it, you break the nozzle. You see? Look, 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 the nozzle fell off. See? But I didn't break it. Most of the time I break it. It's retarded. Anyway, so I'm just going to do a once-over on this bumper just to make it look nice. And I'm not going to have to do it like the car spray paint stuff like that. I guess I could, but this spray paint does not, I mean, it takes 1,000 coats to get it to look good, you know what I mean? I'm just doing it to touch it up is all. That's all I'm doing. Touching it up. KK? KK. So if you did it like a car, it'd be like this. But this you don't need to, because you just want to cover as much as possible. It won't drip because there's more air in here than paint, so I think it's designed that way. That's why it's so cheap. You're really buying a can of air. A can of air. I'm buying a can of air. Hey, it's only 99 cents. I'll buy a can of air for 99 cents. It is. It's more air than paint. I mean, there's some paint in here, enough to cover up stuff. And because there's so much air, it hardly sticks to anything. Man, that looks great already, man. That looks good already? Looks great. And that's all you need. That's all you need, baby. Sure looks better than before, doesn't it? While I am waiting for that thing to dry, I'm going to take my grinder with the cut-off tool and do a nice cut right there. This one right here, it's all bent out of shape. It's like jerk chicken, man. Anyway, I hope I don't hurt myself. And there you go. Nice clean cut. I could either leave it the way it is, because there ain't no holes in that muffler or nothing, you know. It's actually kind of quiet, you know what I mean? So I might just leave it the way it is. If I can find a pipe that like points downwards or towards the back, I'll just go ahead and clamp that on, but I don't recall me having extra tailpipe sticking around, you know what I mean? So I probably just leave it alone, you know what I mean? But it looks better, and you know, I ain't gonna catch that on my thigh or something like that. While I was doing that, I was charging my phone. I put a couple of new spade tabs over here because these things were just hanging on to like almost nothing. So I cleaned that up and fixed that. These are the two tabs that attach to the voltage regulator. So now they're nice and cleaned up and attached properly. In addition, I cleaned up the wiring that we did over there, as well as I took that piece off over here. This thing is still hanging, so I'm going to cut it. We obviously don't need it anymore since it runs even without it. So I'm just going to keep this for parts. As you also saw earlier, this entire compartment was filled with dust. There was like a layer of fine dust on top of the two fans, and I took my air compressor and I blew this entire area out. So it looks a lot better. I also cleaned the bottom pan, the seat pan. Looks nice and new now. What I also have to do is kind of a priority, because this just looks like complete hell, that seat over here. Now, I could go and get some a roll of black duct tape and just go over it, you know, in strips like that, you know, and just do that. Did that once. Didn't look that good. I wish they made these vinyl or whatever this is, covers, because you could just take the coping sides off, right? replace the plastic on here and recoat it again with the same coating. But I haven't seen anything like that. Have you guys? I could get a seat cover, just like 20 bucks. Just put it over there. Make holes for the armrests. This is my first mower that has armrests. I think it's pretty cool. Or I could put like an office chair that people throw out, right? Take the bottom off and screw it on here. Same thing, you know. Sometimes they throw out some really nice leather office chairs. Or I could just go and buy another one. I saw one on Let Go for like $25. It's in pretty good shape. It's a lawn tractor thing, but it didn't come with the armrests. I guess I could drill holes in the back and put these armrests back on, but honestly, that's too much trouble. So I need to decide what I want to do about that, because that makes this whole thing look like hell. Another thing about this paint is it dries very quickly. Look at that, huh? Doesn't that look good? So look, I only sprayed like maybe not even a quarter of that can, so basically it cost me a quarter, 25 cents to paint that bumper. How about that? Actually, that's an interesting perspective, isn't it? If I put it that way, which I just did, right? It's 98 cents for the can. I might have sprayed up to a quarter of that can. So it only cost me a quarter to paint that bumper. A quarter! In America, you can't buy jack squat for a quarter, but you can resurface your bumper on your Toro 616Z Wheelhorse zero-turn mower bumper for a quarter. So I'm a little worried because if I whip out that paint, you know what's going to happen? I say I'm going to whip out that can of paint, right? I bought that can of paint for $11. Yeah, $11. It's good paint. Every time I whip that can out, I go nuts. I end up painting the whole damn thing. I know I will. Because I think that if I start painting this, I'm going to say to myself, you know, that doesn't really match the rest of it. Because the rest of the thing is all painted, all faded, you know, the paint is all faded. So it's not going to look like when I put it on there. The new layer on the rusted parts is going to look far better, a lot more brighter and red. Redder than this. So I know if I start doing it, I'm going to go nuts. And I'm not going to stop until the whole damn thing's painted. Which I don't really want to do, you know? I mean, I think if I decided that I was going to keep this for sure for myself. But I'll tell you why I don't really want to keep it for myself. Because who knows when this engine will blow. Parts are so expensive to buy, if available at all, right? The hydrostatic transmission is suspect, and if it ever did blow on me, I'd be stuck. Right now, I've got it going, running, mowing pretty well. Actually, I would say really well. The engine runs really well. So there's really no reason for me to think that. However, I think about the long-term effects, you know? If I kept this for another month or 2 or 3 or 6 months or a year or 9 months, something like that, right? What if it breaks? Do I want to take that chance? Or should I just make it look nice, sell it to some nut, right? Make the money for it and move on to another project? I could do that. That actually sounds better. Okay, now the question is, what do I sell it for? 500? Seems like it's a much too nice of a mower to sell it for only 500. I mean, I've sold regular lawn tractors for like $850, you know? But what did I put into this? A quarter for the bumper? I really didn't put any money into this at all. I kind of got this for free because remember, that backpack blower I found in the garbage. I didn't put any money in that either. I just basically traded for this. So essentially, this is free. That's right, free. So it's free. So $500 would be good, right? But I have a feeling that I could list this for maybe $1,500. What do you think about that? It is a zero turn, right? I think I might get at least $1,000 for this. If I list it for $1,500, maybe get some nut to come look at it. And then he talks me down, oh, you know what, $1,500 is a little too high. And I'm like, well, what are you thinking? He goes, well, why don't you make me feel like I got a good deal? How about $1,000? And I says, cash money right now? Like right now. You got a trailer right now? He's like, okay, right now. Deal, $1,000. That's essentially finding $1,000 on the street. That's somebody's garbage. You know what I mean? That's how the hustle works, fellers. You know that. On the other hand, I do kind of like it though. But like I said, I really can't keep everything, man. As for doing what I'm doing right now, I'm really overdoing it, to be honest with you. If I just cover up the rust spots, that's all I need to do. Well, I decided to go, obviously, with the black duct tape on the seat. It ain't pretty, but it looks better than before, and it'll work until I decide to either get a new seat or get a seat cover. I don't know. If I can get a new seat for $25, that'd be a good deal. Otherwise, it's $25 for a seat cover, too. So anyway, the paint came out pretty well. I did go a little crazy, right, in parts that I'm like, you know, touching up dot, 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 dot. It looks like crap if you do dot, 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 dot. So I might as well just go all the way through, you know what I mean? At least it's shiny. You can see some brush marks and stuff, but at least it's shiny. And over here, see, there are parts that are painted and parts that aren't, you know. I kind of wanted to go through the whole thing, but, you know, honestly, it looks way better than before. Back is painted. It does look much better. That's it for today. Making this thing look nice. It looks nicer. Good thing about this thing, I haven't spent any money on it yet. And runs great. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. Hey guys, support my channel. Buy a sticker. Also follow me on Instagram @MowersBlowers. Check out my website, mowersblowers.com. See you guys.